During the first episode of Stage Select, as a few of you may recall, I said this. Initially I wanted to cover Hanenbow, although to start safer in testing a new series, I feel something I'm more familiar with is more appropriate. This was actually for a couple of reasons, one of which was just really not having much time to put back into videos then, and I still don't. But the other was just lacking a copy of Hanenbow. But, ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to announce that I, the creator of Lucina is Kill and the mind of Diddy Kong, have acquired a copy of Electroplankton. Alright, call me T. So I know what you're thinking, what the hell is an Electroplankton? Electroplankton is an interactive music game for the Nintendo DS, developed by Indie Zero and directed by... Developed by Indie Zero and directed by... Turns out the company has a fairly decently sized lineup of huh and what. But the company have also developed titles such as NES Remix, that one Switch game that's on the 3DS apparently, and DSware. To say the least, I've got some platinum hits. As for the man himself, he created SimTunes. What more do you need to know?
SimTunes is the only creativity software that allows kids to make their own musical pictures.
Keep telling yourself that. Electroplankton itself is pretty much exclusively made by him, although he had help with producing, and art, and composing. And it was released with limited availability on the Nintendo DS in 2006, although later re-released on the DSi's digital store with the pay-to-play-esque model. It was also a stage in Smash, because why not? Oi! You making a green screen video using Hanenbow? Let me take a look.
Anything spike, you kill sniper, kills faster, all without dying.
Wow, this is just awful. I feel really bad for Hanenbow. In Brawl it's just that bad tree stage, in Ultimate it's just a green screen meme stage.
Catch me later, I'll buy you a beer.
But did anyone actually play the original game? Because it's pretty cool. Yes, this lovely little thing being in Smash is what kept journalists occupied back in the day. On the main menu we see two options, one for performing and one for audiencing. The latter of the two basically acts as a demo feature. I reckon it'd be a good way to get an introduction. I can see why people have trust issues now. Audience mode can help introduce some features of the game, but the demo chosen comes out at random without any context as to what's actually happening. I think some demos are better than others at showing off what's going on, but let's move back to the main game and properly get into it. Before we get into this, I just want to remind you, I'm a music maestro. Man's got that expand your style level in Wii Music, so to say the least, I'm pretty experienced in the industry. Electroplankton is one of those games where you can throw anything together and it makes something that sounds good. In fact, one of the best examples for this is in the first game, Tracy. Basically, you draw lines for each of the little triangle things and they make music based on their direction and the timing and how you draw them. It's weird to explain, but each triangle thing generates a different sound and they can work in pretty much any combination to sound good. I like it. Yes, Tracy, get in. Next up is... It's the Smash Bros stage! Yo, this game's mad. Basically, the pink things are launched from this leaf, which changes with the angle. They then ricochet off the other leaves and create different tones depending on how the leaf is positioned. In Electroplankton, you're able to move the leaves freely in 360 degrees with the touchscreen, whereas in Smash it relies on hitting the leaf to move them at a much more limited angle. There's also multiple layouts you can choose from in the original game, whereas Smash takes the first layout with an original piece in the top left corner. That was fun. What's game 3? Touch arrows, make music, neat. There's these 4 hexadecagon things, and as you tap one, they start to move based along the arrows. Each of them move at different speeds with different sounds, and depending on where they are on the grid, they play different notes. I really like this game, but I often find all of the plankton end up on the same track, or they only move around the same 4 notes. It's still cool though. 4. Sun on a stick. You place eggs, they grow, and they make sound and stuff. There's not really much interesting to this one other than the fact it takes place in a bottle of piss. To be fair, it can be interesting after a while, but I'm not too into it myself. Number 5, Rec. Number 6, Nanocarp.
You've gotta do Rec.
Do I have to? It was painful.
You've gotta do it.
You've got to do it or they will come for you.
Right. Okay, so Rec is just what company. You're supposed to record your voice into the fish thing and it plays them back, but that doesn't exactly work for me. Number 6, Nanocarp. Making noise through the microphone is meant to make the plankton react, but I'm not really sure how it works, honestly. Other than that, you can tap the screen and watch them go. Number 7. Come on, let's check it out. Loop, you spin these electroplankton about to generate noise. Unlike Luminaria, they create more ambient noise than active music, but it's more involved than things like Hanenbow and Marine Snow. Speaking of Marine Snow, it's just kind of confusing. You touch them and they make numerous instrument sounds, and that's all there really is to it. I've skimmed through all of these games, mainly because you can pretty much just get everything by looking at them for like 5 seconds, but Beatness is brilliant. By touching segments of the plankton, you can produce numerous different sounds and oh, that's my jam. You can actually go into a lot of depth making these songs and it's honestly really enjoyable. While I've enjoyed most of the other games in some way, I've genuinely really gotten into Beat NES, creating little tunes and putting them on Twitter in between working on videos in my spare time, and hey look, I complete it. Number 10, Nintendo DSi sound app. You're talking to the microphone.
FUNKe plays it back in wacky voices.
Okay, that's it, that's done. That's all 10. We done it. We. Overall, Electroplankton is an interesting package. It's got a unique art style and brilliant sound design. Should you go and buy it? Blimey, that's actually pretty cheap. As I said earlier, you can buy each of the games separately on the 3DS eShop, so if you want to buy any, research them a bit more, then buy a couple off there. As for the Smash stage, I think it does a good job of accurately portraying the original game while still working as a battlefield. Also, this is possible. Nobody would be throwing crabs over Melee if this were in Melee.